me ask you something that can change everything for you starting today. What if the way you spend just the first 10 minutes of your morning is the difference between an average life and an extraordinary one? The most successful people in the world don't have more time than you. They don't have magic routines, secret genetics, or 25-hour days. What they do have is this: intention. They use the first few moments of every day to set the tone, train their minds, and take control before the world makes demands on them. And here's a truth most people never realize. You don't need an hour. You don't need perfection. You need 10 focused minutes. 10 minutes that can rewire your mindset, your energy, your results every single day. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you 6 simple but powerful habits used by high performers, CEOs, world-class athletes, and peak thinkers to prime their mind, fuel their mission, and dominate the day. You'll walk out of here with a blueprint. And once you use it consistently, everything in your life will begin to change. So don't just listen. Decide right now that you're done with autopilot mornings and average results. Lean in, because your next level, it starts tomorrow morning. And it only takes 10 minutes. And let me tell you, something most people never even stop to think about, your first thought in the morning sets the thermostat for your entire day. That one little moment between sleep and full awareness is where the mind either becomes your most powerful weapon or your worst enemy. And the truth is, most people lose the battle before they even get out of bed. They wake up, grab their phone, start scrolling, reacting, comparing. Before their feet even touch the floor, they're already stressed, distracted, pulled into someone else's agenda. That's not how the most successful people on the planet operate. That's not how you win the day. You want to change your life? You've got to take back the first few seconds of your morning. You've got to train your mind, because if you don't, the world will train it for you. The key is to prime it. I'm talking about waking up and directing your focus intentionally with power. Before you touch your phone, before you think about your to-do list, ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? Not what you should be grateful for, what you feel grateful for. It could be something simple, the breath in your lungs, the quiet before the noise, the chance to live another day. That feeling of gratitude, it shifts your entire emotional state. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. Gratitude is the antidote to stress. And when you start your day from that emotional space, you stop living in reaction and you start living in creation. And then, once you've got your emotional state set, ask yourself a few questions that ignite possibility. What am I excited about today? Who can I serve today? What can I create today that moves me forward? These are not empty questions. They're not some self-help gimmick. They're psychological triggers. They force your brain to search for answers, and what you seek, you find. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You'll feel energy where most people feel anxiety. You'll move through your day like a creator, not a reactor. That's what this is about. You're not just waking up. You're taking command. This practice doesn't take 30 minutes. It takes 60 seconds. 60 seconds to break the old pattern. 60 seconds to train your brain to serve you, not sabotage you. That's the difference between success and mediocrity. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's patterns. And your morning pattern, that's the seed of your results. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up. Don't just survive the alarm clock. Take that moment and own it. Because if you can win the first thought, you can win the whole day. Your body is your power plant. It's where your energy comes from, your clarity, your drive, your presence. And yet most people roll out of bed and treat their body like a used car running on fumes. No movement, shallow breathing, and then they wonder why they feel sluggish, foggy, reactive. You can't live a high-performance life in a low-energy state. You've got to activate the system. You've got to wake up the body like you're waking up a machine that was built for power. Listen, your physiology controls your psychology. That's not motivational talk. It's biology. The way you breathe, the way you move, the way you carry, your posture. It changes your chemistry in real time. You want to feel more alive? Then you've got to get your body involved. Within the first few minutes of your morning, you need to get oxygen flowing, get your heart rate slightly elevated, create that internal spark. And you don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need intentional movement. Start with your breath. Deep, controlled breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth, big, powerful inhales that wake up the nervous system and flush the brain with oxygen. Even 60 seconds of focused breathing can snap you out of that groggy autopilot. It tells your brain, we're alive, we're in control, let's go. That breath is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Then get into motion. I'm talking something simple. A quick stretch, a few squats, a few push-ups. Bounce on your toes, move your arms. Doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is that you're generating energy. That's the key. You don't wait for energy, you create it. And when you move first thing in the morning, you're telling your entire system, this is a day we show up for. This is a day we dominate. Most people think they need more time in the morning. That's not true. What they really need is more intensity, more intention in the time they already have. Just 2 or 3 minutes of movement can completely shift your mental state. You go from tired to awake, from foggy to focused, from reactive to ready. And once your body's lit up, your mind follows. You've primed the system to perform. This isn't about fitness. It's about activation. It's about sending a clear message to your brain and body that you're not stepping into this day by accident. You're stepping into it with power, on purpose. If you do this consistently every morning, just a few minutes, and it stacks, day after day, that physical momentum becomes mental momentum. And suddenly you're not dragging yourself through your mornings anymore. You're launching, you're leading, you're alive. If you can't see it before it happens, it probably won't happen. That's how winners think. The most successful people in the world don't just work hard, they see their outcomes before they step into the arena. They rehearse it in their minds, they feel it in their bodies. That's not some feel-good technique. That's strategy. That's how the brain works. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. So when you visualize success, when you create it in your mind, you're literally training your brain and body to experience it like it's already real. Right after you prime your body, while your energy is elevated and your mind is open, that's the perfect time to visualize. Not in some vague, fluffy way. I'm talking clear, sharp, intentional focus. See the day before it unfolds. Picture yourself stepping into that meeting and commanding it. See yourself making the phone call you've been avoiding with confidence and clarity. Watch yourself staying calm under pressure, leading with strength, showing up with presence. Don't just think it, feel it. Feel your shoulders back, your tone strong, your decisions sharp. Feel the result already done. Why does this matter? Because your brain is always predicting. It's always running simulations, trying to figure out what's coming next. And if you don't feed it a vision, it pulls from the past. That's why so many people keep repeating the same patterns. They're using yesterday's mindset to create today's reality. You want to break out of that? Then you've got to install new images, new expectations. You've got to teach your brain what to aim for. This isn't about fantasy, this is about direction. When you visualize with intensity, with emotion, you're programming your subconscious mind to believe it's possible. And once you believe it, your behavior starts to line up, your posture shifts, your language changes, you start making decisions based on who you want to be, not who you used to be. You move different because your identity is changing. That's the real power of visualization. It's not just imagining success, it's embodying it before it shows up. Now, I know some people hear this and think, that sounds too simple. But let me tell you, complexity doesn't change your life. Consistency does. And this right here, this 2-minute practice of seeing your success before it happens, this is what separates amateurs from peak performers. It takes no money, no tools, no talent. Just commitment, discipline, vision. So tomorrow morning, don't leave your future up to chance. Close your eyes, breathe deep, and see it. See the version of you that follows through, that rises above, that delivers when it counts. Lock it in, because if you can see it in here, you can create it out there. What you say to yourself in the first few minutes of the morning is more powerful than what the world will say to you all day long. That voice inside your head, your internal dialogue, is not just background noise. It's shaping your identity. It's building the framework of who you believe you are. And if you don't direct it, it will default to your doubts, your fears, your old stories. That's why successful people speak with purpose. They declare who they are every single morning before the world tells them who to be. Words are tools. Words are weapons. They can build you or break you. And most people, without realizing it, are tearing themselves down with language that doesn't serve them. I'm tired. I'm overwhelmed. I'm not good at this. They say these things casually, like they don't mean anything, but your nervous system is listening. Your subconscious doesn't filter sarcasm. It takes everything you say as truth. So when you wake up and speak limitation, you're reinforcing it. You're etching it deeper into your identity. And then you wonder why you're stuck in the same patterns. Want to break the cycle? Then you've got to speak to the version of you that's already beyond the limits. You've got to use your voice to create, not just to describe. That means using powerful present tense statements, affirmations that declare who you are and what you stand for, not who you wish you could be, but who you are right now in this moment. I am focused, I am strong, I am disciplined, I lead with courage, I finish what I start. These are not just cute phrases on a vision board. These are commands to your nervous system. They anchor your identity. And when you speak them with certainty, with emotion, with intensity, you start living them. You say it once, it's a whisper. You say it every day with emotion, it becomes a belief. And beliefs drive behavior. That's the chain. You speak it, you believe it, you act on it, and your life starts to reflect it. That's not magic. That's alignment. That's the power of using your language to lead your life instead of react to it. And look, I'm not saying you'll never have negative thoughts. You will. But when you train yourself to speak power first thing in the morning, you're building an emotional immune system. So when those doubts come up later in the day, they don't own you. You've already chosen who you are. You've already set the tone. The rest is just noise. So tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't just think, declare. Say it with force. Say it like your life depends on it, because it does. Speak your standard before the world speaks its opinions. You want to know what separates the people who get things done from the ones who stay busy but never move forward? It's not time. It's not even talent. It's focus. The ability to lock in on what truly matters and block out everything else. Because in a world full of distractions, notifications, and endless to-do lists, most people wake up and step straight into reaction mode. They check emails, scroll through messages, and let other people's priorities hijack their day before they've even decided what their own are. That's a recipe for overwhelm, not success. What high performers do differently is they take just 1 minute, 60 seconds to get clear. They don't start the day wondering what's going to happen. They start the day by deciding what they are going to make happen. They ask themselves one simple question. What are the 1 to 3 things that if I do them today will move the needle forward? Not 10 things, not a scattered to-do list full of meaningless tasks, just the critical few, the things that actually matter. When you do this first thing in the morning, right after you've primed your mind, activated your body, and locked in your vision, you're giving your brain direction. You're telling it, this is what we're doing today, this is where we're going. And your brain loves that. It thrives on clarity. Without it, it defaults to comfort, to distraction, to procrastination. But when you give it a target, it starts filtering out the noise. It starts hunting for solutions. That's how you build momentum. And here's the key. Don't overcomplicate it. This isn't a 30-minute journaling session. You don't need a planner with color-coded tabs. Just grab a pen, a notepad, even the back of a receipt if you have to, and write down your top priorities. The real ones. The ones that challenge you, stretch you, move your life forward. The stuff that's uncomfortable but meaningful. That's where the breakthroughs happen. Most people confuse being busy with being productive. They fill their day with low-impact tasks that make them feel like they're working hard, but deep down, they know they're avoiding the real work, the hard conversations, the bold moves, the uncomfortable steps toward their goals. But when you start your day with clarity, when you identify those few key things that matter, you start showing up differently. You stop wasting energy, you start making real progress, and over time, that progress becomes confidence, that confidence becomes identity, and that identity, that's what shapes your destiny. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up and hope for a good day. Decide what matters. Write it down, make it real. Because where focus goes, results flow. Success is built on momentum, not motivation. Motivation is a spark, but momentum is the engine. That's why one of the most powerful things you can do in your morning routine is stack a small win right out of the gate. I'm not talking about some massive achievement. I'm talking about something so small, so doable, that it's impossible to fail, but powerful enough to set the tone for everything that follows. One action, one commitment, one win. Because when you start your day with progress, you train your brain to expect results. Most people think change has to be big to matter. That's not true. What changes your life is consistency, small wins, done daily, stacked over time. It could be something as simple as making your bed, drinking a glass of water, reading one page of a book, writing down a thought that inspires you. It's not about what you do, it's about who you become by doing it. You're building trust with yourself. You're telling your brain, when I say I'll do something, I follow through. That's self-respect. That's the foundation of personal power. See, every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you cast a vote for the identity you're stepping into. And those votes compound. Suddenly, you're not just the person who wakes up, you're the person who shows up. You're the one who gets one step closer every day while everyone else is still waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect mood, the perfect timing. It doesn't exist. What exists is right now. And right now is the only moment you have control over. That's where your power lives. You do something simple, something positive, something intentional within the first few minutes of your day. And you break the pattern of passivity. You stop being the victim of the morning and start being the architect of your results. You send a message to your mind and body. We're not here to drift. We're here to build. And the beauty of it is, it takes no extra time. You already have 10 minutes. You already have the morning. What you choose to do with it, that's the difference between staying stuck and breaking through. And let's be clear, this isn't about perfection. Some mornings are going to be messy, life will hit you, you'll feel off. But if you've trained yourself to build micro wins, even on the tough days, you'll have a foundation. You'll still move forward when most people would fold. Because this habit isn't about doing something impressive, it's about becoming someone unshakable. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, don't wait for the big moment. Create a small one. Do one thing, just one, that builds you. Because success doesn't start when things get easier. It starts when you decide to do something, anything, with the time you already have